Have you ever wondered if that tiny dime sitting in your pocket could be worth a fortune? Most of us see dimes as small change, the kind of coins that roll under the car seat or get tossed in a jar. But sometimes, one of those little silver-colored coins hides an incredible story and an unbelievable value. Today, we're talking about one of those coins, the 2008 United States of America 1 dime coin. Now, don't scroll away just yet, because this might be one of the most surprising stories you'll hear today. Before we dive in, tell me, where are you watching from right now? Drop your country or state in the comments, and let's see how many coin lovers we've got from around the world. And while you're at it, tell me, have you ever checked your pocket change carefully? You might have a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. The year 2008 was a big one for the US Mint. It was a time when technology, precision, and art all came together to continue the long-standing tradition of minting one of America's most iconic coins, the Roosevelt dime. Originally introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, this coin was meant to represent leadership, courage, and hope, especially after the Great Depression and World War II. By 2008, the design had been around for more than 6 decades, but it still carried that same powerful symbolism. The obverse, or front, features the dignified portrait of President Roosevelt facing left, designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the US Mint. His initials JS can be seen just below the neckline of Roosevelt's bust, a small detail many overlook, yet one that connects each dime to its original artistry. The reverse side of the dime carries a beautiful trio of symbols, a torch in the center representing liberty, an olive branch to the left symbolizing peace, and an oak branch to the right standing for strength and independence. Together, they remind us of the principles America has always strived to uphold. Beneath these images, the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum, proudly reads, out of many, one. It's a coin design that's so familiar, most people never stop to look at it closely. But if they did, they might notice subtle differences that could mean the difference between a coin worth 10 cents and a coin worth thousands. Now, the 2008 D dime was struck at the Denver Mint. The D mark just below the date tells you that. The Denver Mint, known for its precision, produced millions of these dimes. So how could one of them possibly be worth so much money? The answer lies in something collectors call minting anomalies. You see, every now and then, during the minting process, something unusual happens. A die crack, a misalignment, a double strike, or a planchet error. These tiny mistakes can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. Imagine holding a coin that accidentally carries 2 sets of dates, or one where the design was struck slightly off-center so part of the rim is missing. These aren't just errors, they're unique fingerprints of history. And when it comes to the 2008 D dime, certain examples have shown mysterious variations in their finish, striking quality, and even metal composition. Some are slightly heavier, some have unusual toning or doubling on the lettering, and a very small handful were struck on transitional planchets. Metal blanks not intended for that year's dime production. Those are the kinds of coins that make collectors' hearts race. So, let's slow down for a second and think about this. Somewhere out there, maybe even right now in someone's coin jar or tucked away in an old wallet, sits one of these rare 2008 D dimes. Could it be in your pocket? Have you checked? Tell me in the comments. Have you ever found a strange-looking dime that seemed different from the rest? Maybe it had a slightly off color, or the rim looked a little odd. These small details can make a world of difference. Collectors often look at mint marks, design sharpness, and even microscopic imperfections to determine whether a coin is special. A coin in pristine, uncirculated condition, meaning it's never been used in regular transactions, can already hold added value. But when you pair that with a minting error or a unique anomaly, the price can skyrocket. Even though millions of 2008 D dimes were made, finding one that's distinct, flawless, or technically imperfect in just the right way is what makes it truly rare. Let's talk a little about what makes this dime stand out in today's collector market. The US Mint switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition decades ago, but there's always the possibility of transitional metal planchets being used unintentionally. Imagine a dime struck on a leftover silver planchet or even one intended for a different denomination. It's rare, but it happens, and when it does, coin experts go crazy trying to authenticate it. Sometimes the weight of the coin gives it away, other times it's the sound, and in certain cases, it's the color and texture that tell the story. Over time, collectors have noticed a few remarkable 2008 D examples showing such signs. Some have partial strikes, others have misaligned edges, and a few show faint doubling in the inscriptions Liberty or in God we trust. These details, though small, have a massive impact on a coin's value. And here's the fun part. Most people who discover these rare coins find them completely by accident. Maybe they were counting change, maybe they were filling a coin album, or maybe they were just curious. It's those little moments of discovery that make coin collecting so exciting. You never know when that common-looking coin will turn into something extraordinary. Think about it, you might have one right now in your home, sitting in a forgotten drawer, worth far more than its face value. Where are you watching this from? Drop a comment below. I love seeing how people from all over the world get excited about these stories. It doesn't matter if you're in the US, Canada, the Philippines, India, or anywhere else. Rare coins have a way of connecting us all through curiosity and history. Now, many collectors ask, how do you tell if your dime is special? Start with the basics. Check the mint mark below the year. It should say D for Denver. Then look closely at the surface. Is there any doubling of letters? Are the edges perfectly round or slightly off-center? Does the metal look uniform? If you notice anything unusual, don't ignore it. Get a magnifying glass and examine it carefully, or take it to a local coin dealer for a professional opinion. Sometimes what looks like a small imperfection could be the very thing that makes your coin one in a million. Coin collecting isn't just about money. It's about discovery, history, and the stories these small pieces of metal carry. Each coin has traveled through countless hands, seen different cities, and passed through moments in time we'll never know. Yet occasionally, one coin stands out not because of where it's been, but because of how it was made. The 2008 D-Dime is one of those coins. And that brings us to the big question everyone's been waiting for. How much could one of these be worth? Well, here's the part that might shock you. A perfectly preserved 2008 D1 dime coin, with unique minting characteristics and confirmed rarity, has reached an astounding collector valuation of up to $108,000. Yes, you heard that right, $108,000 for a 10-cent coin. It's unbelievable but true. That's why it's so important to check your change carefully. That small, overlooked dime could be your hidden treasure waiting to change your life, so go ahead. After watching this video, grab that coin jar, look through those dimes, and see if you can spot a 2008 D that stands out from the rest. You never know what you might find. And before you go, tell me in the comments, do you have this coin? Or have you ever come across a coin that looked unusual? Your story might just inspire someone else to check their change too. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. Have you ever wondered if the smallest coin in your pocket could actually be worth more than your car? Or even your house? Most people think of a dime as just 10 cents, nothing special, something you hand over without a second thought. But what if I told you that a 1999 P1 dime coin could secretly be worth a shocking amount of money? Stay tuned, because by the end of the story, you'll never look at a dime the same way again. And before we go any further, tell me, where are you watching from right now? Drop your country or state down below, and let's see how far the coin collecting family reaches. And while you're at it, tell me, have you ever found a coin that just looked a little different, maybe older, shinier, or slightly off? Let's go back to 1999. A year full of anticipation, technology booming, and everyone preparing for a new millennium. The United States Mint was busy keeping up with coin demand across the nation, including producing millions of dimes that year. Each of these dimes bore the familiar portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. His face, designed by John R. Sinek in 1946, symbolizes strength, leadership, and compassion, especially after his efforts leading the country through the Great Depression and World War II. The design had already been on the dime for more than half a century, yet it remained timeless, simple, elegant, and distinctly American. On the obverse side, Roosevelt faces left, with the word Liberty proudly displayed beside him and the year 1999 stamped below. Just under the neckline, you can spot the initials JS, the small signature of the artist who first engraved it. To the right, the motto "In God We Trust" reminds everyone of the values the country stands for. But the real clue that makes this dime special is that tiny letter P placed near the date. That P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, one of the main U.S. mint facilities responsible for billions of coins in circulation. Most people never notice that mint mark, but for collectors, it's the starting point of every discovery. Now, the reverse of the dime shows the classic design that hasn't changed in decades. A torch in the center representing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on one side for peace and an oak branch on the other for strength. The Latin words, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. Sit proudly beneath. It's a design most of us take for granted, but it's one that has carried deep meaning for generations. Every line, every symbol, and every word has a purpose. That's what makes the 1999 P dime so special. After all, millions of them were minted that year. The secret lies in something collectors call minting variations. Small, sometimes microscopic differences that occur when a coin is struck. You see, when the mint presses thousands of coins every minute, even the smallest misalignment or pressure change can create something completely unique. Maybe the die shifted slightly, or the planchet wasn't seated just right. These minor imperfections don't happen often, but when they do, they produce what's known as error coins, rare, one-of-a-kind pieces that collectors go crazy for. Some 1999 P dimes have been found with double die features, where parts of the lettering or Roosevelt's profile appear to have a faint shadow or duplicate line. Others show off-center strikes, where the design looks slightly pushed toward one side, leaving an uneven rim. Then there are transitional planchet errors, coins struck on the wrong metal blanks. A few examples rumored to exist from the late 1990s were accidentally struck on leftover planchets from earlier years, giving them a slightly different color or weight. These are the true gems of the collecting world. So here's a question for you. When was the last time you actually looked closely at a dime? Go ahead, think about it. How many dimes pass through your hands every year without you ever glancing at the date or the mint mark? Maybe one of them could be that special 1999 P hiding in plain sight. Tell me in the comments if you've ever found something unusual in your change. It might sound crazy, but so many stories begin exactly that way. A person counting coins at home suddenly spots something different, and before they know it, they're holding a rare treasure. Now let's talk about what makes some of these 1999 P dimes truly exceptional. While the majority were struck in standard copper-nickel-clad composition, there have been reports of a few with slightly heavier weights or odd toning, suggesting something unusual in their production. Collectors who specialize in error coins always look for these anomalies because they can hint at a transitional strike or experimental material. The tiniest differences, often invisible to the untrained eye, can transform a 10-cent coin into a collector's dream worth tens of thousands. What's even more exciting is how unpredictable it all is. Unlike other valuable coins that are centuries old, the 1999 P dime is still young in numismatic terms, which means examples could still be sitting unnoticed in circulation today. Imagine buying a coffee, getting your change, and one of those coins ends up in your hand without you realizing it. The thought alone makes you want to check your wallet, doesn't it? And here's something else that adds to its charm. The year 1999 marked the end of one era and the start of another. It was the last full year before the U.S. Mint launched the famous 50-state quarters program, which shifted public attention heavily toward quarters. Dimes were suddenly overlooked, quietly continuing in production while collectors and the public were distracted by the new quarter designs. Because of that, fewer people paid attention to dimes minted around that time, which makes any unusual 1999 P specimen even more special today. Every coin tells a story, and the story of the 1999 P dime is one of hidden beauty and forgotten attention. These dimes represent that transition moment in American minting history when new technology met old tradition. Advanced presses were introduced, but occasional calibration slips still led to unique outcomes. A single extra press of the die, a slightly miscut planchet, or even an over-polished die surface could create subtle differences. Those differences are what collectors live for. If you have a 1999 P dime, take a good look at it under bright light. Rotate it slowly and see how the shine catches the edges of the design. Does the rim look uniform? Do the letters appear crisp and perfectly spaced? Is the mint mark clear and well-defined? If you notice anything odd, like doubling, distortion, or faint lines, it might be worth getting it checked. Even a small imperfection could be the clue to something rare. Now, let's make it interactive. Where are you watching from right now? It's always fascinating to see coin enthusiasts from all over the world. Coins have a way of connecting people across borders, because whether you're in the United States, the UK, the Philippines, India, or anywhere else, we all share that thrill of discovery. Tell me in the comments if you collect coins or if this video made you curious to start. You might be surprised how many treasures you already have without knowing it. The beauty of coin collecting is that it turns everyday life into an adventure. Every coin you touch has a history. It's traveled through time, through countless hands, through different cities and stories. Most of them are ordinary, but just a few, are extraordinary. The 1999 P dime is one of those special few. It may look small and simple, but it's a reminder that value isn't always about size. It's about rarity, condition, and the story it carries. And now we've reached the part you've been waiting for, the big reveal. After careful study by numismatic experts and collectors, select 1999 P1 dime coins with exceptional errors and minting characteristics have reached valuations that are nothing short of jaw-dropping. The highest graded and most unique specimens have been estimated at an incredible $105,000. That's right, $105,000 for a coin you could easily mistake for any other dime in your pocket. So before you spend your next dime without a second thought, take a moment to check the date, check that mint mark, and look for anything out of the ordinary. You never know, you might be holding a piece of history worth a life-changing amount. And now that you know what to look for, grab your coin jar, your wallet, or that old coffee can full of change and start searching. Tell me in the comments, do you have this coin? Or maybe you've found another rare coin that surprised you. I'd love to hear your story. Remember, sometimes the smallest things can hold the biggest secrets. Keep your eyes open, keep collecting, and who knows, the next rare treasure might already be in your hands. Have you ever looked at a small dime and thought, it's just 10 cents? Nothing special? What if I told you that one of those tiny coins, the 1984 United States 1 dime coin, could secretly be worth an unbelievable amount of money? It's hard to imagine that something you could find in your pocket change might be worth as much as a luxury car. But that's exactly what makes this story so fascinating. Before we dive into the details, tell me, where are you watching from right now? I love seeing viewers from all around the world. Drop your country or state below, and let's see just how many coin lovers we have out there. And while you're at it, tell me, have you ever checked your change carefully? You might want to start after this. The 1984 D-dime carries more history than most people realize. To understand its significance, you have to go back to the story of the Roosevelt dime itself. Introduced in 1946, the Roosevelt dime was created to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, who led the country through some of its darkest times, the Great Depression and World War II. His leadership and his founding of the March of Dimes to fight polio made him an American icon, and after his death in 1945, the U.S. Mint immortalized him on the 10-cent coin. The design by John R. Sinek has remained largely unchanged since its debut. On the obverse side, Roosevelt's left-facing portrait appears bold and determined. The word liberty is stamped prominently to his left, with the motto "I in God we trust" appearing below his chin and the date, 1984 in this case, right beneath his neck. If you look closely at the neckline, you can see the small initials JS, a nod to Sinek himself. Just beside the date, there's the small letter D, the mint mark that tells us this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse side features a simple yet powerful design, a lit torch in the center symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch representing strength. The motto E pluribus unum arches gracefully across the bottom, meaning, out of many, one. This familiar image has been in our pockets for decades, and yet, once in a while, a single coin emerges that stands out from the millions or so. What makes the 1984 D-dime so special? To the average person, it looks like any other dime. It's small, silver-colored, and lightweight, made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. But to coin collectors and experts, some 1984 D-dimes are anything but ordinary. You see, during the minting process, rare anomalies can occur. Tiny errors that transform an everyday coin into a rare collector's treasure. In the 1980s, the U.S. Mint was running full steam to meet coin demand across the country. Billions of coins were being struck at high speeds, and with that kind of production volume, mistakes could happen. A slight misalignment in the dies, a worn-out striking tool, or a planchet mix-up could result in a unique mint error. Some 1984 D-dimes show evidence of such irregularities. There have been examples of off-center strikes, double-die errors where parts of the design appear doubled, and even weak strikes where the image isn't fully formed. These subtle differences might seem small, but in the world of numismatics, they make all the difference. And that's what makes the hunt for these dimes so exciting. You never know when one might turn up. Think about it. How many dimes have you handled in your life? Thousands, maybe tens of thousands. They pass through your hands so often that you barely notice them. But right now, out there somewhere, one of those dimes might be the rare 1984 D coin that collectors dream about. Tell me, have you ever found a coin that looked a little odd? Maybe the edges were thicker, the lettering looked strange, or the surface appeared different. Drop your story in the comments below. You never know, someone might have a similar experience. Collectors are drawn to this particular year and mint mark because of the precision and imperfections that define the 1984 D series. The Denver Mint, known for producing billions of coins efficiently, still had occasional production quirks. A few dimes from that year have been discovered with misaligned dies, creating coins where the obverse and reverse don't perfectly line up. Others were struck slightly off-center, leaving a visible blank crescent near the edge. These unusual errors can dramatically increase a coin's value, especially when the coin remains in near mint or uncirculated condition. One of the most fascinating aspects about coin collecting is that mistakes add value. In almost every other area of manufacturing, an error makes something less valuable, but with coins, the opposite is true. The rarer the error, the more collectors want it. It's a mix of artistry, history, and a little bit of luck. And when it comes to the 1984 D-Dime, that combination has produced some incredibly valuable examples. Think about it like this: when you find a coin from 1984, you're holding a small piece of history that's been around for over 40 years. It might have passed through hundreds of hands, traveled across cities and states, and yet still carries the same design that began nearly 8 decades ago. Each scratch and mark tells a story, but a rare mint error tells an entirely different one. A story of how human precision met machine imperfection, resulting in a one-of-a-kind coin. Now, you might be wondering how to spot one of these rare 1984 D-Dimes. Start by looking closely at the date and mint mark area. Check if the D mint mark looks clear or distorted. Examine the edges: are they even all around or slightly off? Look at Roosevelt's profile and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Are any letters doubled or faintly shadowed? Even a subtle difference can be a major clue. If you notice anything unusual, don't spend that coin. Keep it safe and have it checked by a professional. Coin experts and grading services use magnification and precise measurements to confirm authenticity. They look at the metal composition, the strike quality, and the die characteristics. Sometimes, what looks like a simple circulation coin can turn out to be a high-value rarity. That's why it's always worth taking a closer look before assuming your dime is just another 10 cents. And let's make this fun. Where are you watching from right now? I've seen coin enthusiasts from every corner of the world in the comments, from the US to Europe, Asia, and beyond. It's amazing how coins bring people together, no matter where they're from. They remind us that value can come from the smallest, most unexpected places. The 1984 D-Dime is more than just money. It's a symbol of how something tiny and often ignored can hold incredible worth. It's a story of precision, history, and chance. Some people collect coins for profit, others for passion. But either way, every discovery feels like a piece of history uncovered. And that brings us to the moment you've been waiting for: the value. After all, what could a small dime like this be worth? Well, for certain 1984 D-Dimes in pristine condition with verified minting anomalies, collectors have estimated values reaching as high as $110,000. Yes, you heard that right, $110,000 for a coin most people wouldn't think twice about spending. It's incredible to think that a 10-cent piece could be worth more than a luxury car or even a down payment on a house. So the next time you get change from a store or empty your coin jar, don't overlook the dimes. That small 1984 D coin might be hiding among them, waiting to be discovered. Grab a magnifying glass, look closely, and see what stories your coins might tell. And before you go, tell me in the comments, do you have this coin? Or maybe you've found another rare one. Your story could inspire someone else to start searching, and who knows, you might just help someone uncover a life-changing treasure. Remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes the smallest ones carry the biggest surprises. Keep searching, stay curious, and who knows, your next rare find could be right in your pocket.